The machine riders from before. The ones who were racing. Wonder what they're up to.
I won the race. Pay up.
You threw a rock in my face.
It's not like you can get any uglier.
Ha ha.
Riding machines, huh? Who taught you to do that?
Hey, squad. We got someone with a death wish here.
Whoa. Look at that hair. What?
Someone get a little lost in the desert?
Hey, what's that thing the Easterners keep saying we do?
Oh, yeah. We all drink blood here, right? Maybe we should drink yours.
You can try.
Is that a challenge?
Cool your blades, Josek. Don't think you want to test your luck with a soldier that took down the bulwark. We have no business with you, Outlander. Think we all had our fun? Road's right over there.
Those machines used to be regalas. But you don't look like holdouts to me. Who are you? How'd you get these mounts?
Round here, you want something, you race for it. You cross that finish line first, I'll answer any questions you have.
Aloy, you got a mount?
Race is full.
Actually, I think a spot just opened up.
All right. What are the rules?
Don't die.
This ought to be good.
Shut up, Pekka.
This way, fresh meat. Let's get you that mount. I see you carry a bow. Good. You'll need to use it if you want to win.
Against the other racers?
They will if you don't. We put everything on the line when we get on that track. Makes it worth something. You can test run the track if you want to. Just let me know when you're ready for the real thing.
I'll test the track first.
Be my guest. So, ready to race?
Let's do this.
All right. Everyone get ready.
Yeah, let's go! Let's go! Ha! Didn't see that coming, did ya? Yeah! I got her!
I see you carry a bow. Good. You'll need to use it if you want to win.
Against the other racers?
They will if you don't. We put everything on the line when we get on that track. Makes it worth something. You could test run the track if you want to. Just let me know when you're...
Let's do this.
All right. Here. Your prize for winning the race. You earned it.
I think you owe me some answers.
Name's Ata. As for how we got these mounts, most of us here used to be rebels. Joined Regala's army thinking we'd get a chance to fight in real war against the Karja. Instead, Regala slaughtered our own in cold blood, bare and light. When we made it back to camp, we snuck out on our mounts and never looked back. Been racing the clan lands ever since. Decided we were better off on our own. No rules, no chiefs. Just the speed of our mounts and the taste of blood.
Doesn't sound too bad, I guess. Where's your quiet friend? The one with the mask. He didn't join the race.
He gave up his spot so you could join. Probably for the best.
What makes you say that?
That one hasn't lost a single race. Doubt you would have gotten your answers if he stuck around.
Maybe.
You know, Hax found a spot to set up a race at the farthest end of lowland territory, right by the beach. Make your way there, maybe there'll be a spot waiting for you.
If I'm in the area, I'll think about it.
Hey Lloyd, you here to join the raid?
Got some machine oil to spare? Max! Let me look.
All this sweat, and I'm still not cooling off.
You should sing us a tune.
Please.
desert clan could look at this place and see a home. You don't think that rock.
You think you'll win this one?
Oh, smart on you. One day, you'll see the back of my charger.
What's wrong with naming it? Nothing. As long as it's not messy.
Chief Hikaru.
Really?
Chief Pekka has a nice ring to it.
Ed Pekka is more like it.
Acid will eat right through that metal.
Alright, so I experienced this before yesterday. This was supposed to be my last mission before I logged off and went to bed. Apparently, even when you reload the game and start it again, it's still the same thing from yesterday. This mission was supposed to be kill the machines within the area. So I did. So there are no machines. As you can see, this is the area. Now that Thunderjaw doesn't constitute as being within that circle area. He's outside. Plus he's level 46. Apex Thunderjaw. So there's no way for a level 17 mission that would make you fight a level 47 Thunderjaw. That's not in the cards. That's not part of the. It's not part of the whole setup. That Thunderjaw is just simply there because it's very much. This game is very much like The Witcher. It will place strong enemies in anywhere on the map. It doesn't matter if the area is an easy area or the area is medium area. Strong enemies can be placed within those areas as well. So yesterday I was trying to see how I could undo this, but it's a permanent bug and it's permanently there. So I'll see if I could before the game is over, before I finish the game, see if I could contact Guerrilla Games and show them this video and this specific video that I'm here with this woman and our job was to destroy the machines within this area. There are no machines in the area, so unless there's something I'm supposed to do, it's a bug, permanent bug, and it's not changing. I really don't know what's going on when it comes to games in this day and age. They're all bugs, and it's probably due to the technology that they're using. In fact, mostly due to the technology that they're using and the engine that's running it. Simply because things aren't analog as they used to be anymore. They're not landline. Most of everything that runs nowadays is Wi-Fi and digital, and that's the main problem. If this was mostly cable and land, and the use of things running smooth based on analog operations, you would see minor glitches because there's not digital terabytes of information interrupting the algorithm of certain characters or the base operations or of the characters themselves. It could also be the fact that based on the system that you're using, if you're using an older system, it won't be able to generate and execute certain graphics in time, and thus cause glitches. That's why this was made to be an adaptive mode for two systems, both PlayStation 4 and 5. But they didn't get all the kinks out for the PlayStation 4 version when they made it adaptable for the PlayStation 4. So that's one of the main takeaways with regards to 4 and 5 comparison. They didn't get all the kinks out. They have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of bugs going on within this game, but it's not to the level of, say, Cyberpunk or Fallout 76, or even something like simple as, I don't know, what was the name of that game again? It wasn't Apex, and it wasn't Fortnite. It was another game. I would say it would be equal to that of Warframe, because Warframe has lots of bugs, but the game is still functional and you can still play it, and it still works. Now you could say it's broken because it has bugs, but what makes something broken is that you can't use it anymore, or you can't use a certain function of it anymore. So, and certain bugs allow certain things to be broken. In this situation, this one is broken. But point me to a game that's not bug free, and I would say that game is probably analog or back in the days, or doesn't run on a higher budget, so the demands for using certain type of engines to push it forward is not in place. So the game is great, but the bugs are what's holding it back. I had a fall through the floor once, but here's the thing: if you're running on an older system, and the bugs for the PlayStation 4 will be obvious. Whereas if you're not running on the older system, PlayStation 5, then there probably wouldn't be a bug, because it was made for the PlayStation 5. So PlayStation 4 is not trying to adapt something and then push the system to load something and make it happen based on that. So you're putting the game is putting pressure on the PlayStation 4 to execute certain things, just like this mission. So that's something that they may want to consider. But it's also for the fact is, depending on how long you play a game, whether you play a game for 2 hours or 4, the longer you have your system on, the more likely a bug will happen due to pressure on your system to overuse, loading of graphics and so on and so forth. Those things will become more obvious. So I believe the point of the bug in this game, or in any game for Horizon that's on the PlayStation 4, has to do with the fact that it wasn't adapted that well for the PlayStation 4. But if this game was played on PlayStation 5, it'd have less bugs. So, like I said, name me a game that doesn't have a bug in this day and age. And I would say, well, that's a special type of game. For instance, I believe the game called Control only had like 2 bugs, and that's one I could name off. But even then, 2 bugs is still bugs, more than one, or I guess 2 or 3 bugs, because bugs is plural, so it has to be 2 or 3 bugs. So I believe it had 2 or 3 bugs. Well, here's the thing, those 2 or 3 bugs were very minor. They weren't major bugs, and they weren't they didn't lock missions, specifically because that game was released for the PlayStation 4. It wasn't released for the PlayStation 5 and had to be adapted to the PlayStation 4. It was released for systems, for slower moving systems, slower operating systems. So they knew what they were going, and plus that game wasn't considered a high AAA game. That was supposed to be a double A game with AAA content inside, and then it won awards, and then it was considered after the awards AAA. So same as Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn didn't have this much bugs at all, and for the reason why Horizon Zero Dawn was specifically made for the PlayStation 4, and it wasn't pushing the boundaries using certain type of adaptive systems to make it work within the PlayStation 4 from the 5, or it didn't run on the type of engines that people are using now for making games and using wireless networking to run said games. So it's based on the software that they're using, and it's also based on the fact that they're trying to adapt it to a PlayStation 4. And that's the problem with most of the people in this day and age. They in gaming, they have to understand that if you're gonna make something, you must understand bugs will pop up, and in order to squash bugs and to make sure they don't pop up is to make sure everything renders accurately on the game from beginning to the end when you're doing something. When they play this mission, I'm pretty sure when they test run this mission specifically here, they probably test run it on the PlayStation 4 and 5 Pro. They probably didn't test this on the PlayStation 4 standard, or or the lesser version that came out before the Pro does. They probably didn't test it for long durations of time, because they probably didn't go past 2 hours or 3 hours. I believe testing or any test runs probably don't go that far, or 3 to 4 hours, and they really should. When you're testing a game, you have to test the game for long periods of time, because the duration of the time your system is on to the duration of the times that the system can load and make certain things run will test whether that game can adapt even to high pressure towards your system itself. And they could say, well, that has nothing to do with the game itself. It all does. It all does. They all do, all the games, because you have to understand that no one plays games for 1 hour. No one play a game for 1 hour. The least most people play a game for 2 hours. Now, if you play a game for 1 hour or less than that, it's because you have something extreme to do. But when you sit back, most people play games for 2 hours. And I believe that's probably the maximum limit they did their testing. They didn't test beyond that speed that someone would sit down and play a game for more than 2 hours on a lesser system. And that's something that they need to look into, and they need to squash those bugs. And it's not just for this game, it's for many games. Thankfully, this game is not completely broken that I'm falling through floors multiple times, or I'm falling off cliffs, or certain things don't work at all. So a lot of things that they try to transition from the PlayStation 4 to 5 don't work, but many things do work, and you could get around those things quite easily, or not depend on them at all, because the people who made the game made sure that specific functions, if something doesn't work, at least you have a secondary options, and that's good. So the game is not completely broken that every 10 seconds or every 10 minutes, there's a loading problem or something. Load, close, load. Like there was just a tear jump in the loading of my outfit, simply because that has something to do with the system I'm using, not with the game itself. Loading of clothes and then clothes not popping up has something to do with the system I'm using, not with the game itself. But when a creature is stuck in the ground underneath and isn't dead, because it was here, the creature was here, it was stuck in the ground. That has to do also with pressure onto the system itself. But pressure onto the system itself has will eventually make certain things happen. Like if you're using up-to-date systems, then that is least likely to happen. And they need to consider that not everyone's going to have up-to-date systems, because not everyone's going to buy a PlayStation 5. You're going to wait and buy a PlayStation 4. So if you're going to adapt something to the PlayStation 4, you must understand these things will happen, that people will play beyond 4 hours. I mean beyond 2 hours, and then continues on and so forth. So this has to be something to address, but not just the Horizon, but for every game. Even games like Forza Horizon, Dark Souls 3, what's the name of the other one? I just mentioned Warframe. I mentioned what's the name of that other one? Zombie Army 4. So small bugs pop up, but not something to the level that it would cause like major problems. It's not to the level of Fallout 76, not to the level of Apex. I mean not Apex, what was it? Anthem. It's not to the level of what's the name of the other one? Destiny 1 or Destiny 2. It's not the level of those AAA games. I think that the thing is, when it comes to games, wanting to create certain things and make certain things happen, they are pushing boundaries, but they're not double checking and double downing. As long as it works, it works. And they do multiple tests, but sometimes people don't. The business of people who do the testing don't test it like gamers do. They don't play it from beginning to ending. When you play and test a game, and you play and test, and you have a piece of paper and a pen, you write it down. And you play and test it from beginning to end. That's how you test it. If anything you see is off, you write it down. And if it doesn't work for you, then that means it will work. It will be broken for someone else. And the only way to make sure that it's not broken for someone else is to make sure that once it's tested the first time, you need to test it a second time on the lesser system. Once it's tested the second time on the lesser system, you don't find the bugs, you need to test it on the oldest system. See, the best way to test if something is going to run is to run it on the available system still being able to be sold on the market right now. And the systems that are still sold on the market right now are PlayStation 4, the original, a PlayStation Pro, and the PlayStation 5. So when you do testing, you have to test it on all three, not just one, all three, because those systems are still being sold on the market right now. Maybe not the original PlayStation 4. Maybe if you still have the PlayStation 4, it will work on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Pro. Maybe they're not selling the old PlayStation 4 anymore, and they're still selling the Pro. But the point is, PlayStation 4 and Pros don't go inactive or die off quickly. These systems are made to last for a very long time, for more than 5 years. If you're playing consistently, over and over and over, if you're playing consistently, these games are made to take a beating and keep on kicking. So after 5 years and you still have your system and you play consistently, only by then would you start to see like major glitches and flaws and graphics issues. But if you're not the type to play consistently, that game, the Pro is meant to last beyond 5 years. The original PlayStation is meant to last beyond 5 years if you're not playing like long hours. So I know the people who made these games and test games understand this. So when bugs pop up, it's because they're not really considering it from the point of view of the gamers, because they probably really aren't gamers. They're probably game testers. It's a job for them. They're not seeing it from that aspect, and that's why I'm bringing it up in this video, and it's taking so long for me to say what I gotta say, because this is not the only time in Horizon this has happened. Fell through the floor once. That's probably due to my game. Closed didn't load right. Also probably due to my system. However, this one is kind of uncalled for. When something is stuck in the floor and it stops a mission, then that's whatever adaptive system they had in place, whatever adaptive choice, in order for it to be playable for the PlayStation 4, even though it's a PlayStation 5 game. That is a major issue, to be unable to do a mission due to a bug. And whatever skills and rewards come with the mission, said mission, it cannot be attained anymore because the bug itself has not loaded or allow you to complete the mission, even though I turn it back on, system back on, and even though I load it back up the system. So it's still there from yesterday. So that's a permanent issue. So this is the first permanent issue I could say that's truly an issue. Everything else have been, I would say, minor issues, like walking into a settlement and be able to not use look around features like I'm doing now. That's minor. That's probably intended. And clothes not loading correctly, that also probably has to do with my system and not has to do with a bug. It's due to the strain on the system. And also the ability to certain minor things that they took out of the original game and replaced them with other things with the original game, which worked better with the original game that doesn't work here, like the long jump. Here you got the standard jump, short jump. Now I haven't seen the long jump yet. I don't know why they would take out a long jump. They included the slide. They included the slowing down. They include the slowing down while you're jumping. Let me try that again. Slowing down while you're jumping. And even that, they dialed it back a bit. Originally, way back in the game, you used to be able to stay in the air much longer. So they removed the long jump. They only have the short jump. But they kept the slide and they kept the slow motion in the air. Why would they remove the long jump for? What would be the purpose for removing the long jump? Is it because people were being able to dodge much easier and the machines weren't able to catch them due to that? If that was an issue to a place within the first game, then that was a mistake that they made from the first game. But at the same time, that was a good function that allow you to survive much easier when it comes to enemies. All you had to do is pretty much, if you want players to not use certain abilities in this game, create a mode where you won't be able to use certain abilities in this game, period. Why lock off those abilities such as long jump for the standard story? Why not just put a mode where certain abilities are locked off? Why remove it completely? It makes no sense to not have the long jump. So there's a lot of decisions with regards to this game that were made by the mechanics, as well as some improvements to the mechanics. So not only did they improve certain things in the game with the mechanics, they also took certain things out that actually were better in the mechanics of the original game. Like certain people say they didn't like the long jump. Well, that's completely stupid, because the whole point of you being able to dodge a machine easier is because you had the long jump. And you have the slowing down or slow motions, being able to make your life much easier. All they had to do was to put it into the certain mode that you're able to do a long jump. Then you're able to slow down time much faster or much easier. They just had to create a mode. They have certain modes in this game. They have easy mode, hard mode, very hard mode, and extreme mode. And then there's the story mode. Now, if it was locked off to just the story mode itself, then that's kind of stupid. I mean, you should if you're going to lock off the long jump, you should lock it off to story and easy. But that's not the case. It's not in there at all. It's not present. They remove it completely. So, as much as they think that was a smart move, I think that was a dumb move. I think that's the problem with many people who do gaming or game developers. They see things from a very mechanical, bureaucratic point of view of game industry, and they don't understand fully things from the gamer's point of view, because as much as they claim to be gamers, they're really not gamers. They're game creators, but they're really not gamers. They play games, they love certain games, they love the business of games, but they're really not gamers. They don't judge and critique their games accurately like other people do. It's like a movie producer makes a movie, and he says, yeah, I'm a movie fanatic, I'm a movie buff, and I love movies, but he don't see the faults, or he or she does not see the faults of his or her own product, even though they claim to be these things. So it's like they're looking from the inside out and then trying to look from the outside in, but they can never look fully from the outside looking in, because they are the people who created the product from the inside looking out. So they can never fully understand what someone who's an actual voyeur can comprehend and see that they cannot see, because they're too busy trying to put themselves in both places at the same time. You have to really take yourself 100% out of the equation and see things from the point of view of the exterior, and they don't do that. I think they half-ass it, and half-assing it means you'll get half the fun. So that's all I gotta say about that. I continue the mission. I didn't like the fact that I can't do this mission and collect these skill points due to an adaptation issue from the PlayStation 5 to 4 that bugs it out, because the system is all a PlayStation 4. So I don't like that at all. So that's the one major bug that I would say that's a real issue. Even falling through the floor was no big deal, because I didn't fall forever. Eventually it came to an end point. And I believe if that they probably put blocks in those issues if something like that does pop up. So, and that was majorly because I was running my system for about a good 6 hours, when I really shouldn't be running it for beyond 6 hours. It was going beyond that. It needed cooldown time, just like a human being is working 8 hours or 6 or 8 hours. After 6 or 8 hours, it starts to feel the pressure, and your system is the same. After about 4 or 5 hours, it'll start to feel the pressure. So yeah. So, but other than that, the only real major bug I've seen within this game is that, in and of itself, that issue right there. Minor ones pop up every now and again, but that's the only real major issue. So yeah, I wouldn't compare this to games like Anthem or what's the name of that other one, No Man's Sky, or I don't know, what's the Call of Duty, I think it was Call of Duty World War II, that one as well, or Destiny, first Destiny, and then most recently Cyberpunk. Yeah, so I wouldn't even compare this to them. This is like a baby compared to those games. Those glitches were like full-grown adult glitches. This one is like baby glitches, but just one major temper tantrum every now and again, which is things stuck inside a wall and stuff. So I doubt it's probably had to do with the pressure of my system, but you know, this is nowhere near those type of games. Let's just say hell, Warframe is the game that works majority, and I mean majority, like 98.7% of the time. Every 1 or 2 days you might get an issue, or actually no, not even every 1 day there might be a major issue. Out of a 7-day work week, you might get one major issue that you would find, and then you would have to reload your game and then play it again, and then it works smoothly the second time. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna continue this mission. Yeah, I will message them about this. Make sure that's another reason why you record videos, so you get the hyperlink from the YouTube video. I'll take that link, I'll put it within a document, email it to them if they accept email, or clip the video, send them a clip, say, hey man, check this out, I can't do this mission. It's showing specifically on the map I can't do the mission. I destroyed all the machines, but yet I still can't continue. I reloaded the mission. I played the mission last night. I'll reload the mission again from the last save, or I'll quit the game completely, and then I'll start it up. I'll press not continue. I'll press load from last save. Alright, and it's loading. I still don't like the fact that when you save manually, it takes you out of the game. I mean, what's the point of the quick save if it's just temporary save? I mean, what this game needed was a permanent save inside the game itself. The outside PlayStation manual save is not something that's good. A lot of games have that too, but some games just have automatic save progress within the game, like Resident Evil 2. This game should have removed its manual save, because that takes away from the enjoyment of the game for like 2 point something seconds. The game goes out and stops, and then it starts again, so it's not good. I should have took that out from the last. Alright, so I'm here. I'm going to return back to this area and see what happens. Now I already beat the enemies here, so there's no point in I already beat the enemies here. So there's nothing here. What I would have to do completely is delete the save. Like right now, delete the save, and it will delete the save from the last and take me back prior to fighting this machine. It will take me back to the last save in order to acquire the skills necessary. So I'm going to try to see if I could do something if the new and improved, so-called new and improved PlayStation Network system allows you to individually delete saves from PlayStation 4. I don't know about 5, but the PlayStation Network has always been updating over and over. So I would see if I could delete this save and go back to an old save. This is why I like older games. The new games, they just, we'll see what happens. So let me see if it's possible.